Okay, so we're going to practice our skills of using bases with exponents, positives and negatives. Let's start off with a refresher here. Let's take 5 to the second power. And we remember that was going to be written as 1 times 5 times 5. And yeah, I know this is a little bit of review and backtracking a little tiny bit. And then if we had 5 to the negative second, that was the same thing as 1 divided by 5 divided by 5, or in this case, 1 over 5 squared, also equal to 1 over 25. What happens if we take 1/3 to the third power? Now we've added a fraction. And fractions aren't any different than any other number. This simply means we're going to take 1 and we're going to multiply by a third, multiplied by a third, multiplied by another third, or it's the same as 1 to the third over 3 to the third. See how what I've done is I've really just distributed this exponent to the top and bottom of the fraction. And the final answer is going to be 1 all over 27. And just like any other fraction or a number or operation, once we learn a rule of mathematics, it doesn't change. So we can apply the same concept to negative exponents. So let's take a look and try that. For example, if we have, again, we're going to go back and we're going to say 7 to the negative 2 is the same thing as saying 1 over 7 squared, or 1 over 49. But if we take 1 over 7 to the negative 2, what does that mean? It's the same thing as saying 1, and now I'm going to generate what I call a compound fraction, or what is called a compound fraction, rather. It's the same thing as, and I'm going to distribute just 2 inside, just like we did before. And so we end up with this compound fraction of 1 over 49, all over the quantity 1, or all under the quantity 1, rather. Well, what happens when we divide by a fraction? Isn't that the same as taking the original value, the numerator, and multiplying by the reciprocal of, the fraction? And in this case here, I want to change the 1 over 49 to 49 over 1, which equals plain old 49. It's the same thing as saying, essentially it's the same process as what was done up here, where we pulled this base and its exponent underneath 1. If the base and the exponent is under 1 already starting with, and it's to a negative power, we just end up flipping it back up to the top. So in shorthand, I could have said 1 over 7 to the negative 2 was the same thing as flipping it back up across the line, 7 to the positive 2, or 49. These are just different ways to manipulate fractions.